Hey, welcome back to another Insiders. And this week, I cannot believe we are starting the month of December. So it went really fast, and I would like to talk about something that I consider very important. It's been happening quite often, I must say. I've been seeing a lot of reports of this in social media groups, etc. And I decided to, again, I think I've done a video about this before, but I decided to revisit this topic and talk about it because this is happening more and more often, and more the scams are being more and more elaborate. I'm talking about scams. I'm talking about scams online, and more in particular when the scammer poses as a legitimate agency and translators get involved in a scam, or should I say they get scammed by these people. And obviously agencies get involved in a scam that they have nothing to do with, and then it might have also damage their reputation, because of course the translator then it will associate that scamming, that for example lack of payment, mistreatment, exploitation, whatever it might have happened to that particular agency, and obviously damages the reputation of that agency when in reality the agency had nothing to do with it, and it was just scammers posing as that particular agency. So let's talk about scams online, and let's talk about scammers posing as agencies. So come with me, let's talk about this. So one of the common things that I've seen happening in recent years, and I must admit that this year I've seen it a little bit more than I usually used to see it. That's why I decided to talk about this topic again. I know I've done a video about this before, but I think it is so important that I think I should talk about it again. And this is the increasing amount of scammers posing as translation agencies. There was the typical scammer that goes and tells you that you have won some sort of estate somewhere, or a lottery or something like that, and those you obviously know are scammers. There's always those scams that ask you for translation, blah blah blah, and then when you answer, they will require you to make payments, or to provide your credit card details or something like that, which you obviously know it would be a scam, because you are not supposed to pay your clients. It's the other way around. So these are the most common ones that we already know about, that have been around for, I don't know, I think when I've started my career they were already around. So it's been a very long time, and they've been around for a very long time. But the problem is, every year they get more and more sophisticated and more elaborate, and now they are posing as real agencies. With the use of AI, they can produce very good emails, whilst before we know one of the ways to detect that email came from a scammer was that most of the times the English was very poor, because most of the times it would be done in Google Translate, and it would be a very linguistically, it would be very poor quality, and you would automatically say, well, an agency wouldn't send me an email like this, because obviously if they work in the language industry, they would not have such a poor linguistic quality. And that was one of the ways that you could actually see, well, this is not real. However, these days, with the use of AI, even Google Translate itself has improved, and with the use, still probably use of Google Translate and AI, the emails are less and less detectable, even though you still detect some bits and pieces that you say, no, this is not fluent, this is not this was not written by a native, does not make sense. In some points you may still detect a few things, however it's less and less detectable, so you have to resort to other ways of identifying if an email that you have received claiming to come from an agency, if it's really coming from that agency or not. So for the purpose of this, let's name a fake agency called ABC Translations. I have no idea if there's any agency with this name, and if it does, let me put a disclaimer, I have no connection with this agency. I don't even know if it exists. So this was a name that I have created for the purpose of this video now. So let's imagine this, suppose ABC Translations. We don't know if it exists. I don't know if it exists. If it does, please leave a link below saying that you exist. And obviously I am not talking about your agency. So imagine you received an email and it comes under the name of ABC Translations. It's signed by Mrs. Sarah Smith, and Sarah Smith sent you this email saying that ABC Translations are going to receive a huge amount of projects, and they have had a look at your, let's say, your PROS profile or your LinkedIn profile, and they ascertain that you are a good match for those projects, and they would like to know if you are interested. They may tell you that it would be a certain amount of words per week. The projects are supposed to run weekly, and you would have, the deadline would be such and such. Sometimes they give you all, they provide you all this information, such as a legitimate agency would do, such as the real ABC Translations would have done. You look at that and then you think, okay, is this legit or not? If you look at some inconsistencies in the English, you may already start getting suspicious, but sometimes, as I said, you may not find that. So how do you do it? You know the name of the agency. First, you go to PROS and you go to Blueboard and you put ABC Translations and see if there is any information for that agency, and if there is, check all the comments, all the reviews. Most of the times, or in a lot of those reviews, translators mention the name of the project manager that they have worked with. So they say, oh, I've worked with such and such, and he or she were very good, or I've worked with such and such, they never pay, or they were not very good, very disorganized. Whatever comment you might find, that sometimes they mention the name of the person that they have worked with, and sometimes you even have that particular project manager answering, either thanking for a good review or justifying something that went wrong. So if you see that ABC Translations appear there, and if you even see that lady Sarah Smith as a project manager, then you start going towards the legitimacy, and you say, okay, this is on PROS, looks like it's a legitimate agency, but you still need to go and look at their website. Go and look at their website, that it is, you find that it is abc/translations.com. And you go, you open the website, and again, see if the logo that you see on that website is exactly the same that appears on your email. And another giveaway, if the resolution of that logo in your signature is a good resolution, because obviously the legitimate agency, the ABC Translations, would create those signatures, so they would be legitimate. the logo would appear good, not slightly pixelated because it was copied from somewhere else. So bear that in mind. Again, see if all the signature, all the information that is provided in the signature coincides with whatever information you find in the website, because chances are, if it's a scammer, it might be slightly different, or you also might see some pixelation, different fonts, etc., etc. The real company would have the whole marketing done possibly by another company that will create the logos, the signatures, and all the stationery for the company, and everything is standardized, so everything is uniform. So if you see that that's not exactly what you see in the website, is another giveaway that it might not be the legitimate company that is contacting you. Again, if they have an about tab and they have all the team, some agencies do, just try to find that Sarah Smith. If you see Sarah Smith in the directory, it might happen or might not. Some agencies don't have it. But if you hit the jackpot and you find, then it's your answer. It's the legitimate agency that is contacting you, and you can reply to that email. But you still also make sure you really look for everything. And another thing is the domain. Which domain is on the email that you have received? Not only what appears on the signature, that obviously has to be the real domain, it has to be the real website for ABC Translations, but if the email comes from S. Smith, for Sarah Smith, S. Smith at abc/translations.com. If it does, if it's everything matches, then it's another proof that it might be legit. But sometimes they are not resorting to Google or Outlook or any free accounts that as often anymore, because they know that people are looking for these things, and obviously they will associate them with a scam straight away. So what they are doing now, and because registering a domain has become cheaper and cheaper, and if they can scam a lot of translators with this, and they can get money out of them, of course it would be worth it, the money that they spend to register the domain. So you will find that, for example, the legitimate agency would be something like abc/translations.com, and they register something like abc and then altogether translations.org, for example, or .net. Be aware of this. Or they would register something like, instead of ABC Translations, ABC Translator. So when you look, it looks like it's the same, and your eyes almost like you read translations, but it's not, it's translator. And it might be also .com, or they might also register .net. So be aware, sometimes it's just a little slash that is different. Sometimes it's a underscore instead of slash, it's underscore. It just varies, but they are getting really sophisticated with this, and they play around with the domains. So in the naked eye, when you look, you almost get tricked into reading incorrectly. So you read what you should, your brain reads what you should expect to be reading, but you need to be double check this and make sure that the domain is correct and everything really matches the real profile. So if you ascertain that is not the real profile, or if you are in doubt after doing all of this, all you can do, and I would recommend you to, is forward that email to the email that you see on the legitimate website of that particular agency, and you say, look, I have received this email, I've been trying to ascertain if this is really from your company. Would you please let me know if this is really a legitimate advertising that you guys are doing, or if this is someone posing as your company and trying to scam translators. This, I would think it's the correct practice, it's the ethical practice, and also it's a good thing for the agency as well, because if there is a scammer trying to pose as their company, it really damages their reputation, because then that scammer, they companies these days as well, that company is gonna scam them. They're either gonna give them translations, and then they usually ask for payments, they ask for all these elaborate things. It's another giveaway when they start asking you for payments and asking you to give your PayPal or give your bank account or something like that. Please don't, or your credit card. And then obviously when you get scammed, they get money, but you're going to complain. You're going to say, oh, Sarah Smith for all my ABC translations is a scammer. They are scammers. Don't work with this agency. There's a lot of translators that do that. I also already made a video about this. Be aware of the negative comments that you do online, because you may repel legitimate clients. If there is something like this, always try to say that you had a negative experience without being nasty, without being toxic, because that will definitely damage your reputation more than the reputation of the scammer. The scammer is a scammer. So make them aware, and of course they will be thanking you for that if it is in fact a scammer, because they can act to make provisions so that scammer is caught and everything, that domain is deregistered and everything is cleared up. And of course, you are not scammed and you warn other people about it. So I would say that that's the course of action. Don't reply straight away. If you think it's a scam but you're not sure, make sure you think what your first thought was. Verify if it's really a scam. If it is, and if that name is from a legitimate agency and they are trying to use that agency, just let them know that this is happening so they can actually do something to obviously protect their businesses as well. And who knows, you might get a good client. Maybe it's a good agency and you might get a good client because they may see this person is really ethical. They decided to warn us about this. Maybe we have some projects that we can work with them. So it's very important that we always be aware of all the emails that we receive, because a lot of these emails might be scams, and we need to protect ourselves, protect our business, because at the end of the day, it's our bottom line, it's our business, it's our bread and butter, and we really need to protect ourselves from this. So I hope you really like this, and I hope I gave you really good clues on how you avoid this and how to do the right thing, and honestly warn agencies that may be involved in something like this so they can actually protect themselves. And it's good for both sides. It's good for them that they protect their business and they make sure they clarify the situation. Hey, this is not us. But it's also good for you, because if the agency acts on it and that scammer is taken out of the market, it's one less scam that you have to worry about. So it's good for both, and I think it's the right thing to do. And that's all for today. I hope you really like this first insider from December, and I hope it really gave you a little hint on what's going on and how these scams are getting really elaborate, and how they can pose as anyone, basically, sometimes with a little tweak on the domain, and you'll be thinking it's the legitimate person that is contacting you, and it's not. So be aware of that, and protect yourself, protect your business. You know, if if you ever been scammed in a process like this, in something similar like this, let us know in the comment below. Let us also know which company was it coming from, or which company were the scammers posing as. Let us know what happened to you. Did you manage to recoup your money? Did they actually took any money from you? Or if you had an experience of being contacted in a similar way and you reported it to the real agency, what did they say? What was your experience? Or if you have any other ideas or any other methods that we can use to avoid this type of problem, please leave on the comment below. And it's always important to share this sort of information so we can all protect ourselves. And as I said many times throughout this year, if you have any topic that you would like me to discuss in our insiders, please leave in the comments below, and I will be very, very happy to accommodate it, and maybe you will see it in one of the insiders of 2024. So before I go, put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new insider every week. And before I do go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week for the last insider of the year. So have a good one. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.